Eritrea, the economic growth imperative. For decades, Eritrea's national focus has been centered on security, sovereignty, and self-reliance. These priorities were shaped by history and by the challenges the country faced after independence. But today, a new challenge stands before Eritrea. The challenge is not simply protecting the nation. It is creating enough economic opportunities for the next generation. A growing population needs jobs. Young people need opportunities. Businesses need markets. The government needs revenue. And families need rising incomes. None of this can happen without sustained economic growth. The question is not whether Eritrea needs growth. The question is where that growth should come from. What sectors can generate the greatest impact? Which industries can create jobs, earn foreign exchange, attract investment, and support other industries at the same time? The answer lies in identifying sectors with strong backward and forward linkages that encourage industrial clusters, value addition, and export-oriented growth. And that is exactly what we will explore today. Before we begin, if you enjoy our content, please subscribe to Eritrea Insight and turn on notifications. And don't forget to check out our sister channel, Eritrea Insights, where we focus exclusively on regional economy, business opportunities, infrastructure development, trade, and investment trends, as well as regional and global politics relevant to Eritrea. Your support helps both channels continue producing independent analysis on Eritrea and the Horn of Africa. One of the biggest mistakes developing countries make is trying to develop everything at once. History shows that successful economies usually begin by identifying a few strategic sectors capable of driving growth throughout the wider economy. These sectors create what economists call backward and forward linkages. Backward linkages occur when an industry creates demand for suppliers. Forward linkages occur when the products of one industry become inputs for other industries. The stronger these connections are, the greater the impact on economic development. For Eritrea, several sectors stand out as potential engines of growth. The first is agriculture and agro-processing. Agriculture remains one of the most important sources of employment in Eritrea. However, much of the value created by agriculture is often lost when products are sold in raw form. The real opportunity lies in processing. Instead of exporting raw sesame seeds, produce edible oils. Instead of selling livestock alone, expand meat processing, dairy production, and leather industries. Instead of exporting fresh produce only, invest in packaging, preservation, and food processing. Every stage of processing creates additional jobs and income. Farmers benefit from larger markets. Transport companies move products. Packaging businesses emerge. Storage facilities become necessary. Exporters gain access to higher value markets. This is how agricultural development becomes industrial development. Countries that successfully move from exporting raw products to exporting processed goods capture far more economic value. For Eritrea, agro-processing could become a major source of employment while strengthening food security and export earnings. The second sector is fisheries and the blue economy. Eritrea possesses one of the Horn of Africa's greatest natural advantages, a long coastline along the Red Sea. The waters of the Red Sea contain valuable marine resources, yet much of this potential remains underdeveloped. Many countries generate billions of dollars from fishing and seafood exports. However, the greatest returns come not from catching fish alone, but from building an entire value chain around the industry. Fishing fleets require maintenance services. Fish processing plants require workers. Cold storage facilities require investment. Packaging industries emerge. Transportation and export logistics expand. Research institutions support sustainable fishing practices. The result is an economic ecosystem rather than a single industry. Demand for seafood continues to grow across the Middle East, Europe, and Asia. Given Eritrea's strategic location, fisheries could become one of the country's most competitive export sectors. The challenge is moving beyond extraction toward value-added production. The third sector is mining and mineral processing. Eritrea is already known for its mineral resources, including gold, copper, zinc, and potash. Mining has contributed important export revenues over the years, but relying solely on raw mineral exports limits the economic benefits. Too often, resource-rich countries export raw materials and then import expensive finished products made from those same resources. The greater opportunity lies in developing industries around mining. Processing minerals locally creates more jobs and generates additional economic activity. Mining operations require equipment maintenance. Engineering services become necessary. Transport networks expand. Training institutions develop technical skills. Suppliers emerge to serve the industry. Over time, these supporting industries can become economic sectors in their own right. Mining should therefore be viewed not merely as a source of export earnings, but as a foundation for broader industrial development. The objective is not simply extracting resources. The objective is using those resources to stimulate growth throughout the economy. The fourth sector is logistics and maritime services. Location matters in economics, and Eritrea occupies one of the most strategically important locations in the world. The Red Sea serves as a critical corridor connecting Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. A significant portion of global trade passes through these waters every year. This creates opportunities that go far beyond operating ports. Modern logistics includes warehousing, freight forwarding, container handling, shipping services, customs support, and distribution networks. As trade volumes increase, these services become major sources of employment and investment. Countries such as Singapore and the United Arab Emirates transformed strategic geographic locations into global logistics hubs. Their success was not based on geography alone. It was based on infrastructure, efficiency, and long-term planning. Eritrea may not replicate these models exactly, but the lesson remains relevant. Geography is an asset. When combined with the right policies and investments, that asset can become a powerful driver of economic growth. The fifth sector is light manufacturing. Every industrialized country started somewhere. Very few began with advanced technology industries. Most started with labor-intensive manufacturing, textiles, food processing, leather products, furniture, construction materials, consumer goods. These industries create jobs while helping workers develop industrial skills. Manufacturing also strengthens connections across the economy. Factories require electricity. They require transport services. They require packaging. They require maintenance and financial services. As these supporting industries expand, entire industrial clusters begin to emerge. Clusters reduce costs and increase productivity because businesses benefit from shared infrastructure and specialized suppliers. This is one reason why industrial zones have been successful in many developing countries. For Eritrea, light manufacturing could serve as a bridge between agriculture, mining, logistics, and exports. What makes all of these sectors important is not simply their individual potential. It is their ability to reinforce one another. Agriculture supports food processing. Food processing supports logistics. Logistics supports exports. Exports generate foreign exchange. Foreign exchange supports industrial growth. Industrial growth creates jobs. Jobs increase incomes. Higher incomes stimulate domestic demand. This cycle is how economies transform. The goal should not be isolated projects. The goal should be creating interconnected economic ecosystems. Successful countries build clusters, not standalone industries. They focus on value addition rather than raw exports. They compete in international markets rather than relying solely on domestic demand. Most importantly, they create environments where businesses can grow, innovate, and invest. Eritrea possesses significant economic advantages: a strategic location, natural resources, agricultural potential, marine resources, and, perhaps most importantly, a young population capable of driving future growth. But opportunities alone do not create prosperity. Opportunities must be converted into productive industries. The path forward requires prioritization: agriculture and agro-processing, fisheries and the blue economy, mining and mineral processing, logistics, and maritime services, and light manufacturing. These sectors offer some of the strongest opportunities for creating jobs, attracting investment, generating exports, and building long-term economic resilience. The future of Eritrea's economy will not be determined by resources alone. It will be determined by how effectively those resources are transformed into value-added products, competitive industries, and sustainable economic growth. Because in the modern world, economic growth is not simply desirable. It is a necessity, and the countries that successfully identify and develop their growth engines today will be the ones that prosper tomorrow. If you enjoyed this analysis, please like the video, subscribe to Eritrea Insight, and share this discussion with others interested in Eritrea's future. Thank you for watching, and let us know in the comments, which sector do you believe should be Eritrea's top economic priority? We'll see you in the next video.